evening, depending where you're joining us from. We have the first batch of panelists here with us today, and we are glad to have you all here. This is another wonderful episode of Sharing is Caring, especially our viewers. Please don't go nowhere because our panelists are going to share their heart out on the SDG movement, their teaching philosophy, and a lot more. So it's not going to be a dull moment without of us here today. I really want to appreciate and welcome our panelists. That I'll be introducing to you is Professor DRTP Sasikumar, India. He's a professor. Oh my God, Prof, you have a very high profile here. He holds Master of Science, MPhil, PhD, LLB, MBA, MS Space Scientist, Mathematician, Photogrammetry, Remote Sensing, Image Processing Expert. He's an educationalist, Spiritual Medication Director, Life Mentor, Motivation Speaker, Writer, Poet, Thought Leader, Image Creator, Management Consultant, Blogger, and he's also a YouTuber. He's a former chairman and CEO of World Special Craft Foundation. Sorry, there are some names that I will not pronounce here, so I'm going to skip that. I'm sorry about that. Ashaya and Advisor, World Yoga Community at the UN NGO, Associate Chief Research Officer and Management Team Member, IDYM, India President, Research Council, IIU, Kamashetra. Oh my God. You have a lot. If I continue mentioning it, we will not go here. He has honorary doctorate in peace from Egyptian Ambassador Academy. In 2021, he has reached over millions of students, youth, and equal member of teachers and parents. Okay, he was former Deputy Director, Cabinet Secretariat, Government of India, New Delhi. He has won a lot of national and international awards. Thank you so much, sir, for all you do.
And before I proceed, I want to recognize the presence of His Excellency Professor Dr. P.P. Sasikumar from India. Our first panelist is going to be Professor Dr. T.P. Sasikumar from India. And my first question to you, Doctor, is how is personal development part of academic learning?
Namaskaram from Hyderabad, India. My co-panelists, for the great sharing and caring session which we are going to have under the umbrella of DigiSkills from Nigeria, under the chair of my sister, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Professor Director Uchlin, and the question is being asked by the Ambassador Felix from Kenya. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity and hosting us. The question is, how personal development be part of academic learning? Who can learn? Learning is only possible for human being. Being human, being social, that is the ability of any human being. So the more human you are, the more social you are, that means your personality is being improved. So personal development is part of being more social, more human. Great Swami Vivekananda from India, when he said, education is man-making. So when people get educated, you need to be more inclusive. I must also have concern about my fellow beings. In fact, that is what the Sustainable Development Goals, the point number 4, where it is not skill, opportunity and attitude for doing good for only very few, but it is for whole humanity as total. So it needs to be a sharing, caring and loving everyone around us. That is what being human, that is what is personality development. Is all what I want to add now. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. That is amazing. Professor Dr. T.P. Sasikumar, that is quite amazing. Thank you very much for that insightful answer. Having Again, Professor Dr. T.P. Sasikumar from India. And my other question to you, Professor, is how can students be participating in creative / innovative learning? So how do you think students can be participative?
Yeah, thank you, Felix. I understand most of the teaching happens like a monologue. Many people use the PowerPoint presentation on the digital platforms, and probably the teaching you have only a blackboard and a chalk piece, or maybe a whiteboard and colorful pens, and rarely you see teachers who make the students be part of learning. Understand, classroom is not a teaching classroom. A classroom has to be a learning classroom. How do you make learning possible? Only when the students become active partners in the learning. I hear most of the time people have problem with learning language like English. Yesterday I was addressing some students from the remote village in the West Bengal in India. As a child, people learn a language when age 1 to age 4. Their mother tongue can be learned. But when it comes to other languages, it's hard for them to learn in the classrooms. But if you go and stay with such people, be in the society, the learning becomes very fast. That itself shows that the learning happens only when you are active partner in activities. So every teaching classroom have to be a very highly creative, innovative place where teachers can make students to become partners in the learning process. Otherwise, it becomes only a deductive, inductive, storytelling classrooms, but not a discovery classroom. If questions are not asked and the teachers are not making the students to become partners, at least for sharing what they learned at the end of the classroom. Like Bloom's taxonomy also talks about such ways of teaching methodologies. We have in India the Bharatiya Shastram, the traditional Indian knowledge, which says Brahma is the creator and Saraswati is the god of education. Brahma means creativity, innovation, improvisation. Some reproductive job is not what is teaching or learning. Today it is coming from the brain, a reproductive. Then the education goddess will not be with the Brahma. You want the pair to happen, education should always lead to innovation, creation, research. That's why teachers also have to be the researchers. If you're only a teacher and not a researcher, the education system doesn't go. That is why we have always the research is part of education system. That's why university is asking for publications. That is why university is asking for patents. That's why university is asking for contributing in the industry, identifying something new and innovating something new, at least a small improvisation. Then such teachers will become the real teachers who can make students also participative. Not as a academic process, but the inner philosophy. PhD is philosophy. That means you have love for knowledge, love for learning. And if that is there, all teachers will become creative and innovative. If the lecture is boring, it is not because of the students, it is because of the teachers. If students are failing, it is because the teachers are bad. That is the biggest problem in education. It is not the policy, it is not the media, it is digital or non-digital, it is physical. It is the teachers who have to change. And if change happens in teachers, education becomes the most brilliant process in this world. Thank you.
Wow. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Doctor. It is indeed true that we need to shift from the monologue and the storytelling classroom to a more active and learner-centered classroom. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for that amazing answer to that question. His Excellency Professor Dr. Sasikumar from India. And my question to you, my last question to you is, how can teachers be adaptive, taught bearers, and not just reproducers? Back to you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you, my brother from Kenya. Most of the time, the teaching classrooms are the subject oriented. Traditionally, it was only in the higher education, but today, even at the lower classrooms, the teaching has become only teaching the subjects, and students don't have an opportunity to have interaction with the teachers. Basically, because teachers are busy, students are busy, and the world is running very fast. They are occupied for preparing for examination, and there are a lot of processes like assignments, tests. Teachers also have got a lot of administrative processes. I have been in various levels of teaching, starting from the university, and I was also part of the scientific organization like ISRO in India. We understand most of the time what is lacking for children is a goal. The objective and goal is not understood. They learn different subjects. They write examination. They get good marks. But they don't know what to become in their life. I've been executive director of an engineering college. I asked children to fill up a form asking what do we want to become. It find most of the students are not aware of what they wanted to become in their life. So you are in a path on a road without knowing where is it leading to. Education has become like focusless. Education has become like no directions. So as a teacher, because otherwise there are a lot of other external people who are trainers, they are mentors, they are guiding people, directors, but they don't have one-to-one interaction with the students for longer time. That's why most of the time the education, the private entities have become major role, but not the teachers who are everyday associated with them. What is lacking? The teacher as a teacher, when they go to classrooms, they are with them for an hour. And most of the time teachers don't find that interaction with the students, and therefore the teachers and students become too far. They are only teaching the subject, but not out of the box. What to do, what is life. These need to be consulted, talk to the students. When they do that, the teacher turns out to be a mentor. And the teacher turns out to be telling the objective and scope of the education system as it is. When you make that clear to your children, I'm sure students will come to you for, when I go for lectures and guest lectures for 1 hour to one college, people come behind me asking a lot of guidance. The reason is, none of the teachers in their faculty list is not found suitable for answering their questions. So probably I must have done a lot of international programs like this on the panel discussions, guests and all that. But more time I spend with individual students who, when they ask me questions, I will ask them to have a G-Meet with me, and I invest a lot of time in understanding. And some of them, when it is not too personal, which can be shared, I post them into YouTube. So for last 1 year, I must have uploaded more than 2,000 videos, in which you can see most of them are personal attention, personal problem solution than international lectures and credentials to my credit, but I do more like a torch bearer and guiding them, mentoring them, directing them, understanding their problems and tell what they have to do in their life. I am supported with a lot of my qualifications. I have got a psychotherapy qualification. I am a psychologist. I understand the mind of the people, the mind of the students, and also know what the world is going to offer to them. And it is not something new in the digital scenario. The traditional Bharatiya Shastram, the Indian tradition says, Atnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Salute my teacher, because he is the man who is giving vision to my eyes. But today teachers are not giving vision to their eyes. They are making the students blind. So what is a teacher's job? Teacher's job is to give vision so that they know which direction they have to go. Therefore, a teacher becomes a person who can direct them, guide them, mentor them, take care of their personal requirements. Because most of the parents are not that educated to guide them. And world is going very fast. It is not 20th century, 21st century. We are running third decade of 21st century. Traditionally, we could talk about the centuries. But in this era, we should not talk about centuries. We should talk about decades. We should talk about yearly programs. The world is going very fast. Who can understand the world, how fast it is going, what is going to be offered to the next generation? Only a teacher who has got a bigger vision. And that needs to be cultivated in teachers. Actually, teaching is not required in classrooms at all. Because education has become so open, anybody can learn from the best teachers in the world. Why are teachers wasting time? And I keep saying, teachers keep on begging, please listen, please listen. So I keep calling teachers are beggars. And actually that should not happen. You should become a master and you should make students to follow you. That is what is called acharya. Seeing a person, people should feel, oh, this man is great, I want to be behind him. And you are the leader. Teachers have to be turned to be leaders. And then the society will follow you. And they only can make changes in the world. Not politicians, not any other programs or societies or maybe new policies cannot make changes. Teachers can. Only when they become adaptive, the time, understand the student, understand each one of them. I authored a book on adaptive learning and teaching 15 years back. People are talking about the digital learning now. 15 years back, I authored a book on adaptive learning through e-web and net learning. Understand, teachers are the most laziest, not ready to learn. If you can change that and you become a person who can show path to your students, you will become acharyas. That is what I mean by saying the adaptive torch bearers. Thank you. God bless you. I was so happy to be part of this great panelist list and then open up a few of my thoughts, and few of the panelists were also with me on many programs, and when I was looking at Facebook I have seen most of them are my friends. So today it has become a passion to get into different activities, but I'll tell you, you should have your own students who will follow you, ask a lot of questions, and you become a leader to guide them further in their life, and then you can say after some time, oh, I cherished my life. Thank you for this opportunity. God bless you. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Wow. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. You are just a great teacher, and I just want to be like you. So thank you so much. We want to we need to interact with the learners for mentorship and guidance. I really love that. And then I also realized from you that it is quite clear, even in my country, that most students, they don't even know what they want to become until it is very, very late. So thank you so much, Professor, for that insightful piece of talk. I really feel that I've really learned from you, and I would have even wished to hear you talk because that was quite insightful. So thank you so much for that, and we really appreciate.
That is the spirit of giving back. We must imbibe the spirit of giving back. I'm just stressing this. Auditor, please, let's just try to be doing that. It's very, very important. Okay, by so doing, we are making our world to be a better place for all of us to live in. So thank you so much. And I think with this, we are going to call it a day. But before then, let's just okay, let's listen to this.
When I was lonely, you were with me. When I was silent, you spoke up for me. When I gave up, you gave me strength like you. You changed my life, and I want to say my world is much brighter with you. You believed in me and
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, everyone, for having tuned in today for this. This is the best blockbuster show, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about anyone, but I really love this. This really got to me. This really got to my heart. So keep up the good work you're doing. Yeah, and I think I don't know if anybody have any other thing to say. We already want to draw the curtain to an end.
Nice program. Yeah,
It was
nice program,
awesome.
and thanks to all
It was
panelists.
awesome.
And yeah, thank you so
And
much.
it was nice and nice to meet you guys.
Okay. All right. Felix, are you still there? Okay, no problem. For those that have joined us today, please fill the form and do not share it to someone that didn't participate on this. It's not good, okay? All right. Thank you so much.